Hi, I'm Tracy, VE3TWM. Thank you for tuning in to Outdoors on the Air. In early September of 2022, my nephew Daniel and I hit the road and made the 6-hour drive north to Halfway Lake Provincial Park in Ontario, Canada. This was a new park for me. My research indicated they had a nice hiking trail and private campsites on the water's edge. The campsite description implied the site was large enough to put up a 40-meter antenna. Those details ticked all the boxes for me, so the reservation was made, the packing was done, and we were on our way. As is customary on my trips, I take the Friday off work, drive up to the park, then set up camp. If I am with family or friends on Friday afternoon, we take in a hiking trail before returning to camp to get the fire going and have dinner. The trail did not disappoint. After about an hour's climb, we found ourselves overlooking a beautiful landscape. We'd have stayed longer at the lookout, but this little fellow seemed to be very attracted to me. Not being huge fans of flying insects that sting, we moved on. Once back at the site, we prepped the firewood as our plan was to cook dinner over the fire. After a hearty meal and some great conversation around the campfire, we retired to the tent. As tradition dictates, we fell asleep listening to Rusty Wilson's Bigfoot campfire stories. The efforts of the long, busy day took their toll, and even tales of spooky adventures couldn't keep us awake. Once up on Saturday morning, we had breakfast, and it was time to prepare for the day's main event, a Parks on the Air activation. The gear I brought along on this trip was my Yaesu FT-991A, an N9SAB 40 to 10 meter no-tuner end-fed half-wave antenna, and a pair of Life PO4 batteries. Of course, the antenna is an extremely important part of a capable portable station, so let's take a look at the N9SAB 40 to 10 no-tuner end-fed. This antenna can handle up to 100 watts single sideband with its 66-foot long radiator. The radiator itself is 18 AWG UL 1007 stranded wire. The default configuration features a BNC connector. I asked Tim Ortiz to fit mine with an SO239. An attach point for either an optional counterpoise or a ground stake is on one side of the matching unit. A ground stake is included in the package. Inside the matching unit is a 49:1 Fair-Right FT140-43 toroid with bifilar winding. The case is a weatherized flame retardant ABS Hammond 1591 enclosure. Although the attachment point allowed for the use of a counterpoise, I did not use one for this activation. Tim Ortiz N9SAB ships the antenna in a camo travel bag. First job, of course, was to get the antenna up. Deciding to erect the wire in a sloper configuration, I chose a tall pine by the water's edge to toss a line into. After a couple of attempts with an arborist's throw bag, the paracord ended up about 40 feet. That could be the tricky part.
How are we going to do that?
There we go. Okay, there you go, friend. The hardest part of raising the antenna is done. We pulled the far end of the antenna up and led the feed point over a tree limb at the roadside and attach the coax. It was now time to set up the transceiver. Since Daniel is not a ham, I gave him a lesson in how to properly connect a radio.
Record like this.
This is recording?
Yep. So I am going to walk over some basics of station setup here. So the first thing is, so here we've got the rig, radio, of course, ham radio, always known as a rig. That's our terminology for it. We've got a battery. Got the coax coming from the antenna. We've got the power cord, which is plugged into the back of the rig. And I've also got a voltmeter. So this voltmeter is going to allow me to keep an eye on how much voltage is left in the battery, because if it dips too low, I have to swap batteries out. Microphone, of course. Now, there is a sequence that you want to follow when you connect a radio. The sequence is always connect the antenna first. And the reason for that is, if you go ahead and connect the battery first, then the microphone, you might forget that you haven't plugged the antenna in, and you go to transmit, and you can damage your radio by not having an antenna connected.
Really?
Yeah. So the rule of thumb is always plug in the antenna first. Now on this particular radio there are two antenna connections. One is for the bands we're going to be operating on today, and one is for the much higher bands. And that requires a completely different type of antenna. Okay, so now I take my battery, which is this is a 10 amp hour lithium ion, and there's markings on the voltmeter. One is source and one is load. So the load is whatever you're plugging into the battery, so that would be the radio, and the source would be the actual battery itself. Plug in using these connectors, which are known as power pole connectors. Okay, and notice red goes with red, black goes with black, and now our battery is connected. Okay, so I'm just going to slide this over here like this. We can get rid of this coax cable, we don't need it. Here's the microphone we're going to be using. I'll plug that in, then we'll turn the rig on and we'll see how the antennas work.
Last year, Daniel and I made a trip to Northward Provincial Park, and while there, Daniel did the logging for my Parks on the Air activation. This time, it was his turn to take the microphone. I gave him some pointers, then the activation began.
Whiskey Bravo 8, Tango Papa Tango, 5-9 at the Mosquito Lake State Park.
Mosquito Lake, doesn't that sound like a wonderful place?
Did you say Tango Papa Tango?
I'm not even paying attention to it. I'm looking at the menu here.
Roger that, you're not in a park, sir, correct? Yes, I'm just up here in my room. Not a problem, eh? That's fine with me. We can still count them. We counted a lot of points here this year for us. I appreciate the call. We got you out there, and we'll see you again. Hey, roger that. Hey, what's the park number is, you know? The PONA number is Kilo 1978. 1978. All right, good luck. 73.
Okay, so now we can go
Here,
back.
Ohio Parks on the Air from Whiskey 8, Victor Tango
Oh,
Delta.
park to park. Oh, park to park.
Yes.
Yep.
Park to park.
Go ahead, park to park.
This is Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike.
Okay, with Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike, you're 5-9. That carrier's just booming down here. 5-9 in Mosquito Lake State Park in Ohio, Northeast Ohio. QSL?
They say QSL. Could I have the park number?
QSL?
Yep.
QSL, can I have the park number?
Okay, the PONA number is Kilo 1978. 1978. QSL?
QSL. Now come back and give them our park number.
You are a 2, and our park number is V.
No, you got to give them two numbers. Two numbers.
Oh,
Two
1
numbers.
and 3?
Not the
What's your
signal
park
report.
number?
So you got to give them the readability and then the S meter.
Oh, so 1 and 3.
Give them a 2 and a 3.
Okay. Sorry about that. You are a 2 and a 3 at VE0225.
Okay, QSL, copy that now. All right, appreciate the
I
call.
need his call
sir.
sign.
We got you in the log.
Could Could you repeat the call sign, sir?
Could you kindly repeat your call sign number, please?
Roger that. The call here is Whiskey 8, Victor Tango Delta, Whiskey 8, Victor Tango Delta.
Got it.
QSL?
Thank you very much.
Got
Have a
it.
great day.
Thank you very much, sir. Have yourself a great day.
Roger that. You too. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. It's a great learning experience. 73. Ohio Parks on the air. Ohio Parks on the air from Whiskey 8, Victor Tango Delta.
Good job. Thank you.
Sorry about that number. I thought it was only one number.
Two numbers. Readability, S meter. Readability is a judgment call by you, right? Noisy, clear. So I would have given him, what'd you give him? You gave him
2 and a 3.
2 and a 3. I would have given him, just an FYI, just to help you frame this, I would have given him I would have given him a 5 and a 3, because I'm having no problems at all hearing what he's saying.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, call CQ again.
CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. This is Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike.
November 2, Juliet Hotel Romeo.
Juliet, Hotel Romeo. Okay, so go back to him and give him this report.
N2JHR, you are a 59 at VE0225. N2J, please come again.
JHR.
November 2, Juliet Hotel Romeo.
Okay, go back. N2 JHR.
N2JHR, you are a 59 at VE0225.
QSL, you're about a 5-7 into western New York, about 30 miles east of Niagara Falls. 7-3, have a great afternoon.
You as well. Thank you, sir.
7-3.
November 3, X-Ray Lima, Sierra.
Yeah, please.
November 3, please come again with your call sign.
November 3, X-Ray Lima, Sierra.
November 3, X-Ray Lima, Sierra. You are a 59 at VE0225.
QSL 4545, Pennsylvania. QSL.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. Have a great rest of your day.
Kilo Delta 8, India, Papa Foxtrot.
Kilo Delta 8. Did you copy the rest of it?
Kilo
Station.
Delta 8. Can you please come again with your call sign? Kilo Delta 8. Please come again with your call sign.
Kilo Delta 8, India, Papa Foxtrot. QSL.
Okay.
Kilo Delta 8, India,
Papa
Foxtrot. You are a 59 at VE0225.
Roger, you're a 5555 here into Michigan, Mike, India. I just want to say, Tracy, please keep up the videos. Love watching them.
Tell him that you're my nephew.
This is his nephew Daniel. Tracy's right next to me.
And says thank you very
And
much.
says thank you very much and appreciates your support.
No problem. Keep it up, Tracy. Like I said, love watching them. 7-3, good luck.
Have a great rest of your day.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
All right.
After operating for a couple of hours, we ended up with 41 contacts and a new park record. Satisfied with our work, we shut down the station. The N9SAB end fed worked very well, and the FT-991A put in a good performance. By the way, look for an upcoming video where I take a hard look at the 991A as a portable rig. In all, we visited a beautiful park, had great weather, enjoyed a nice hiking trail, and had a successful activation. Daniel stepped right up and did an outstanding job as station operator. The trip was a big win. That's all for this time. Thank you for watching. Now it's your turn. Get out of the shack, get outdoors, and get on the air. 7-3 from Tracy, VE3 TWM.